What's one subtle sign of low intelligence? I'd say lack of curiosity, lack of resourcefulness. While not exactly the same, I find these two very often come together with some people. Never admitting you don't know something. This scene from Ted Lasso sums it up perfectly for me. Guys have underestimated me my entire life, and for years I never understood why. It used to really bother me. Then one day I was driving my little boy to school, and I saw a quote by Walt Whitman. It was painted on the wall there, and it said, "Be curious, not judgmental." I like that. Ted throws a dart. So, I get back in my car and I'm driving to work, and all of a sudden it hits me, all them fellows that used to belittle me, not a single one of them was curious. You know, they thought they had everything all figured out, so they judged everything, and they judged everyone. And I realized that they're underestimating me, who I was had nothing to do with it. Because if they were curious, they would have asked questions. Questions like, have you played a lot of darts, Ted? Ted throws another dart. I do not allow Facebook Meta or any other Facebook Meta related person to use my photos, information, messages, both in the past and in the future. This statement I inform Facebook Meta that it is strictly prohibited to disclose, copy, distribute or take any other action against me based on this account or its contents. This account content is private and confidential information. Violation of my personal life may be punished by law. Example of my mother-in-law, it's never happened to me, so it's not true. Not revising your beliefs when presented with information that might alter them. Refusing to ever admit you're wrong and reevaluate your worldview in light of new information. Inability to engage with hypotheticals. The signs of low intelligence don't tend to be subtle. Trying to appear smart. Only consuming information online that fits within their own bubble. Being overly trusting. Most of the responses in this thread are approaching the question as if low intelligence is a moral failing, but I've known some very kind and genuine people who aren't very intelligent. People with low intelligence often don't read situations or people well and have a childlike trust in everyone they meet. When someone tries to argue generalities, if I say basketball players are taller than hockey player, naming a random hockey player that's taller than a bunch of basketball players shows that you can't have a productive conversation on any topics that involve general trends. Closed-mindedness. I've known some academically challenged people who were always open to learning and new experiences, and it was a delight and ease to speak with them. Closed-minded people are the worst to talk to. Beginning your arguments with, they say, and not knowing who they is. While on a hiking trip, another hiker gave me an MRE, which for anyone unfamiliar is a prepackaged meal used by the military. The MRE comes with a paper Hot Pocket-like wrapper that you place around the meal's packaging to heat it up, and while reading the instructions, I was like, interesting, I wonder how it works, and then the guy that gave it to me repeated the instructions to me. It didn't cross his mind that I was curious about how the heating technology itself worked. I started noticing this approach to curiosity and knowledge all the time. Lots of people only care about understanding things just enough to get some personal value out of them, and just don't care about anything deeper, or anything bigger picture. It's just a fundamentally different relationship with curiosity. Extremism. If you can't recognize that the world is made up of grays, you're dumb. Lack of empathy. And no, I'm not talking about social or emotional intelligence. The ability to see things from the perspective of others and understand those arguments, whether you agree with them or not, is a big foundation for empathy and also indicative of intelligence. Not being able to listen to arguments that are the opposite of your own. Healthy communication is being able to listen, inquire, and try to understand why people believe something, and then politely disagreeing if you haven't changed your mind and saying why. If you can't do this, then you have missed a lot of learning in life and have solitary confinement in your own generational echo chamber of a mind. Strawmanning. struggling to comprehend basic arguments. Lack of common sense. Reverting to emotional and anger rather than logic.